Hello everybody and welcome! In this video we'll be playing in the Entrench Seasonal event, and in this mode whenever we play a unit it is given resilience. That means that units we play will carry over into subsequent rounds. And some things to note about this event: with resilience some things do carry over and others don't, and positive effects like shield, armor or boosts do not carry over, whilst negative effects like damage or bleeding do carry over. And the Entrench effect is only applied when units are played, so it does not account when units are summoned or spawned. Also, units which come with Veil cannot receive statuses, which does include resilience. So if a unit has Veil, it will not gain resilience from this mode. And finally, you may find purifying units more valuable in this event, as by purifying units you remove the resilience status, and this can prevent your opponent's units from carrying over between rounds. Anyway, let's see the deck we'll be using in this video. So here's the deck we'll be using in this video. The Entrench mode means units can remain on the board potentially 13 turns, which is great for engines. And this is an engine overload and heavy removal deck, so we'll be trying to overwhelm our opponent by creating too many threats, and we deal with resilient enemies by trying to destroy them. And because many of our units remain on the board for many turns in this mode, we run several damage engines which find good value over time. We'll be running a host of siege engines in this deck, the strongest being the reinforced ballista, and this will allow us to damage an enemy unit by 1 every turn, unless we play a warfare card which will allow us to damage an additional unit by 1. And note that it does have the formation ability, which allows it to be played with Zeal or a boost. But the boost cannot be carried between rounds, so it's usually better to play this in the melee row. We also have the reinforced trebuchet to ping our opponent's ranged row, and we do also have a few soldiers in this deck, so if we can set up soldier pockets to enable the crew ability, we can damage a random enemy unit by 1 instead. And the Carrack frigate is another siege engine. You can also use it to spawn soldiers in its row for its order ability, which will help us set up our soldier pockets for cards like the trebuchet. Volunteers created by this ability are only spawned, not played, and that means they will not gain resilience and will not carry over between rounds. The War Chariot is another engine at our disposal, and when in the melee row it can give bleeding to an enemy unit for 4 turns, which is our preferred usage of this card. Although if we play it in a soldier pocket, we can also move enemies between rows, and we can use this every 3 turns. And finally, we have Voltest's Pride, which we can use to damage multiple enemies every 4 or 2 turns, if we can activate the crew ability. And the thing to note about our engines is that they are all offensive, and this is because damage will carry over between rounds, unlike boosting. And because cards can remain on the board for a long time in this mode, engines can find good value here, potentially playing for 13 turns. And because we are running so many siege engines, we also run the siege scenario, which can spawn additional siege engines on our side of the board. And note that the cards created by siege are also spawned, not played, so they too cannot carry over. However, the siege scenario itself can. So even if we play this in 1 round, we don't need to finish it, and we can finish the later chapters in the subsequent round. And we will look to play this card in rounds 2 or 3, because by then we'll already have several siege engines on our board by that point. And this will vastly improve the final chapter of Siege, which is Bombardment. And Bombardment is a warfare card, so it will trigger the resupply on our ballista, and this card will split 4 damage randomly between all enemy units, increasing the damage by 1 for each siege engine under our control. And like Siege, this is another card we look to play in later rounds, as its power increases with the number of siege engines on our board. And this card can be very oppressive, as we can put 8 or more siege engines on our board in addition to all the damage they deal over time. So those are the core cards in this deck, and we'll play our engines early and try to do as much damage to enemies as possible, and once we reach the second round we drop Siege in order to further add to our damage output, and finally we play several bombardments as a way to destroy all our enemies. And we'll just finish with a quick flip through the rest of this deck. And our leader ability is Inspired Zeal, which can boost an allied unit by 2 and give it Zeal, and we can use this to enable some of the more powerful removal options in our deck. Our Stratagem, which can boost an allied unit by 4 and give it Shield. And note that while neither of these effects will carry over between rounds, this boost can still be used to heal a damaged unit back to base power. Amphibious Assault for tutoring our units. Now Queen Maeve is a soldier, and when she's inspired, and that is boosted, then at the end of the turn she'll remove 1 counter from herself, and when she reaches 0 counters she'll boost all of allied units by 1 and then reset her counter to 3. And because of the resilience, we can get a lot of units on the board and have them stay there for a long time. So Queen Maeve can find good value by continuously boosting them every 3 turns. And while boosts do not carry over, they still help to protect our engines, potentially heal those units that are damaged, or can simply help us outpoint our opponent. And Queen Maeve is also one of the cards we'll look to use our leader ability on, as we do not have many targets for it, and Maeve needs to be boosted in order to function. Prince Ansace is another unit we'll use our leader ability on, and we play him in the ranged row to give him the +1 boost, then use our leader ability to give him another 2 boost and Zeal, and this will allow him to destroy any unit with 11 power or less. Queen Adalia can spawn and play a base copy of a Bronze Northern Realms unit from our hand and give it shield, and preferably this will be the Reinforced Ballista, as it is our best engine. And note this is a play ability, so the copy will gain resilience. Seltkirk is more removal, and the third target for our leader ability. So we have 1 for Maeve, 1 for Ansace, and the last for Seltkirk. And like Ansace, Seltkirk can destroy any unit with 11 power or less. John Natalis for tutoring our warfare cards, like Amphibious Assault or Bombardment. Reinforcements is another warfare card that can create and play copies of our siege engines. Margarita Loyantile for locking. And keep in mind that while there is more Purify in this mode, purifying a unit will also remove resilience, so locking is still a viable option in this mode. Boiling Oil can damage an enemy unit by 3, and if the death blow is triggered, purify adjacent units. And this is the only offensive purifying option available to Northern Realms. And if we can get the death blow with this card and purify adjacent units, then those cards will not be around in subsequent rounds, as they will no longer have resilience. Siege Support, which can either reduce the cooldown of one of our siege engines, or give boost to a damaged unit or Maeve. And his order can also allow him to give Zeal to an ally, although there's not a great need for this outside of the Karak frigate and possibly the Reinforced Ballista. The infantry is a quick way to set up soldier pockets, and we might look to start by playing this in the ranged row, and then we can slip in our trebuchet or the war chariot or Foltest's Pride between them. And finally we have the Karak Marine. And we are running a devotion deck here, so this card will boost by 4. Although I will say there's not a great need for devotion here. However, the deck is already effective as it is. But if you do want to swap in any neutral cards, This is the only card in this deck that will be affected, so it's not a big deal. So, that's our deck, and as always, the link to the deck list is below in the video description. Now, let's see how this deck plays.
Ested esa crisa.
Got any pebbles? Hungry like a wolf, I am. Mankind is a virus, a plague.
Scurvy? Nah, fake elven news.
Bladaveri.
We will never bow to the invader!
For Lyria and Rivia!
I hate portals.
beautiful, these golden fields.
Any last words?
Hearts, livers, awful deliciousness.
In this job, it's crucial not to lose your head.
Then you will be much happier.
We will never bow to the invader!
Don't look to me for mercy. You shall find none.
Temeria has yet to speak its last.
I hate portals.
Scurvy? Nah, fake elven news.
Onward! Attack!
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
No one can hide from me.
I'll gladly help, if I live to see it.
What is truth, if not an illusion? Time to get our hands dirty. Here's our chance. We follow Letho's lead.
If it's peace you desire, prepare for war. You shall know the Emperor's fury!
For our lordship. Truly electrifying.
Onward! To victory!
You mistake stars reflected in a pond for the night sky.
Dark clouds gather over Temeria.
Time to get our hands dirty.
These dogs have no honor!
we dance. For young is the night.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Tap your foot. Come on, give it a lash. Sing along.
My great-granddaughter will do great things.
Here's our chance.
Turn your foe's strengths against him. That's the trick.
I live to serve you.
And it's all for me grog. Me knocking grog.
You'll never get my rhymes out of your head.
How can I help?
No!
A thousand beaks like a thousand arrowheads.
Destiny is unswerving. Cheated. It will not be.
I
I can do a great deal more for you.
Nothing like some overseas plundering in springtime.
I bring you news from the crushing tides.
Onward! To victory!
And it's all for me grog, me knocking grog.
I am no more. There is but us.
I'll gladly help, if I live to see it.
Man is a polluted river, I tell you.
Come forth, coward, and your own doom confront!
Take my near life and grant them your strength in return!
Salutations.
Modern Freyr is patient, but she brooks no insult.
I've prepared a feast for you, my children.
What is your wish? What do you desire, my lady of the seas?
Scrub this, scrub that, for fuck's sake, I'm sick of these chores.
Accept our sacrifice!
Under the sea, that's where I'll be. Under the sea.
Well, I guess that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching. As always, the link to the deck is in the video description. If you have questions about specific card choices, possible changes and improvements to the deck, feel free to leave a comment below the video and I'll respond to it when I can. Until next time,